Yo, what's up? Mikey C. Here to talk about something a little different, but something I'm still a geek about. So, CoroCoro leaked some or printed some scans and released them of some new things in Pokemon Black or White. First things first, the trainers. The rival has kind of like a camping bag on the side, and I think he had a white hat, like, with the Pokeball. I mean, what Pokemon, like, starting trainer doesn't have a Pokeball on their accessories or hat. Eh. Then there's the female trainer. She looks a lot like the female trainer in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, but they did slim some things down. From memory, I can't really recall. I think she had a hat, but it was like kind of a small one, and then she had hair around. I remember the male trainer. He almost reminded me of like the male trainer, the general male trainer from Generation 3, having the really spiky hair and all. And he has like the half hat thing pushing up the spiky hair. It looks like they have updated Pokewatches. The only reason I think about that is I couldn't read this. I don't think it was translated yet. But it takes place 2 years after the events of Pokemon Black and White. So instead of being more of a side story like Emerald and Platinum have been, it's a sequel, but in the same land with the same Pokemon, and based on, who they are, they mixed around. I think they added the availability of Squirtle, Tyranitar, and Riolu. They will now be able to... They will be catchable from the beginning. You don't have to put them from your other DS cart. I mean, you don't have to trade them. Let's see, my personal plans, and there's 2 other people they showed. They showed the new professor, and this one is interested in Pokemon strength. Now, whether that be physical, mental, both, a combination, I don't know. He's got some kind of weird circular thing on his head. It might be just part of the magazine design. And there's, a guy in swim trunks with his eye goggles down here, and he's African American, wearing a, I believe, white, orange, white, orange, a little yellow for the flowers, and blue suit. I don't like being so sparse with the information, but now apparently one whole region has been frozen over. It'd be cool if, somehow you got to take hold of Kyurem, because, Kyurem wants dominance among Zekrom and Reshiram, so it fused with it to have a permanent dominance. Not in this, they could like walk the region, but maybe not walk in a heated spot because of the ice part of them. And now they switch colors. White Kyurem. Wait. Okay. Yeah, I got white Zekrom is the mascot for Black, which is interesting because we've always gone by, I'll use Emerald again. Rayquaza was the third mascot of the, trio, and it was green, so Emerald version. Ruby and Sapphire, get the deal. I was kind of banking on Amethyst, but as far as, like, legendary Pokemon color matching, didn't go. So, one thing I do have to think of, the art style looks a little more futuristic, and maybe I would love to get both games, be playing through them. My legendary will definitely be White Zekrom and White Kyurem. Yeah, I never had a real good use for Zekrom. Now he's also an Ice type. So, because we've all had that certain move that, Pokemon technically should be able to learn, but can't. Like Sudowoodo, it looks like a tree, but, it's a rock type. I think it can learn at least like 3 grass moves. And initially I thought it was a fighting grass type, and if there isn't, they might want to think about recategorizing Sudowoodo. I don't know, but to me, the one thing that I can say above anything, above any info I didn't give or got wrong, I apologize, is that it seems like this might have been an idea for the 6th generation, because it seems, a little tech, but a little, simplified. The way they've always gone with the design style in Pokemon. And this time, like I said, it seems like it's, maybe a leftover idea that they don't want to use for Gen 6. But I'm very sure that anything that's a new play mechanic, and I'm hoping you get to go to a Safari Zone. I didn't like that game of catching your own Pokemon that were already caught. I mean, I already had that problem in the Safari Zone, in Gen 1. But, and now that I compare the games, the first was an absolute classic. Red, blue, green, and yellow were the shit. Everybody did it. Almost everybody I knew carried their Game Boy, like, everywhere. I also... oh, I had my little English moment. And American. In movie news, if you're a comic fan and you happen to read the Latino review, they said they spilled the beans on Iron Man 3. The whole thing is nanites and nanomachines. And they said, quote, I guess sarcastically, for some reason, make Tony just as machine as man. Which is more like a Bleeding Edge thing, but I get that feeling that at least by the end of Iron Man 3, we're going to see the Extremis suit. But the thing is, I would love for it to be a situation where he could only use that suit. The whole keeping it in your marrow. And I'm sure it's the rest of the fatty cells and everything. And then just, like, manifesting it. Like Green Lantern in the movie. I'm sure he does it in the comics. I'm not a big DC guy. Or was I? Oh, Iron Man. Some Latino review stuff. Well, I hope I hope Iron Man 3 touches on the extremist stomach. 1, 2, 3. I can do this. Does the extremist storyline, because there are other things that do fit, which is interesting, because they could say, okay, we'll add this, and this will kind of be the plot for the movie. Like, they could do Rescue. I just hope they do, at least do extremists, and do it justice. I mean, word for word, straight out of those comics, 1 to 6, not much different. And I would say you could keep the director, what's his name? Same guy that writes Iron Man right now. Invincible Iron Man, at least. Matt Fraction, yeah. Keep that guy as the director. You could just switch on and off, and Jon Favreau could be the main director or co-director, depending on the emotional tone of the story, the action. So, yeah, they just sparsely said nanites. I haven't even been on the website to confirm what other people are saying. And if it's going to be nanites, there were nanites in the extremist virus. In fact, I'm sure a good bit of the virus was nanite based, and just some had different properties. And then there was a bioorganic part to it as to why. Like, stage 2 is that, like, you're in, a cocoon of living scabs. I'm sure you're conscious for that, or some of that. In the end, it's kind of just like a hardened off cocoon, like Petey. Oh, that's Origins. It seems like all they'd really have to do is introduce Maya Hansen, but the one thing is, they're worried about having a problem detaching Iron Man from the Avengers storyline and still making maybe another clear and cohesive Avengers movie without Iron Man or a basic cameo. Because one of the biggest things in that movie is Captain America and Iron Man duking it out for leadership. You have a war hero in Captain America, the living embodiment of, our ideals. Then you have Tony Stark, billionaire, philanthropist, all that. But, he was in the war games and sold, arms to people. And now, he self-made hero. It's like Batman. As far as the comics, yeah, Iron Man does have a few limited-based powers like psionic stuff, but I guess really to push the the tone and that extremist is extreme and that bullshit overtly dumb frat boy way. But whatever, sons. So, was that too vague? In fact, it would be too much. I just think that is a dead arrow, shooting straight at a target with Iron Man in extremist armor. I mean, so it seems like every movie, 3 armors. So I guess for the Avengers, it'll be Mark 7, 8, and 9. And then for the 10th one, the beginning of the Iron Man 3 movie, they'll make it special by making it Extremis. The one thing that I think, it's a small and large thing, but everybody's really like rushing to see, continuity, when happens in what verse or whatever, because it was said that Spidey, steals a little bit of the screen at the end of the Avengers. Now, the more common one, well, actually, Spidey's more common for a rumor, but the newer one is Ant-Man. I've actually heard people say Panther, which would make a much better movie. But yeah, I mean, I love the Avengers. I used to love the X-Men, but it just seems so, okay, everybody can have any power for any circumstance. I guess that's kind of why I like, self-made heroes, because, they put life, limb, and their money, and resources, and time into protecting people. Bollocks. God, I told you never get anything in time.